Welcome to the Cork Creative Podcast. With this podcast, we hope to promote local creative businesses and people. I am your host, Geraldine Hennessy, and today I am joined by interior designer Maura Mackey. After several years of doing interior design projects alongside her full-time job and developing her skills through various courses, Maura took the leap into full-time interior design. Today we discuss her journey, her love for biophilic design, and her passion for transforming spaces into ones that our clients love. You're very welcome to Cork Creative, Maura.
Thank you very much, Geraldine, for having me. Delighted to be here.
So, Maura, I suppose, how did you get into design? We'll start off with that.
I always love colours and nice textures and stuff like that. I'll always remember my first memories when I was 10. My mum used to buy me this monthly magazine. It was called Home Magic. You can still see it in front of me. She'd buy it every month. I used to feel very lucky that she'd buy it for me and I'd put it into my folder. And I remember reading it cover to cover. And I, at the time, remember saying, I'm how lucky am I that she bought it for me and stuff like that. So that was my first memory of me with interior design. Then we built our own house and I decided I had a full-time job, but I decided I'd love to go back to college to learn about interior design so that I could actually, my own house. I wanted to be able to ensure that my own house was done right. So I'm back to college 2 nights a week for a couple of years, done my interior design course. And then from there, obviously done a few jobs in my own house and use what I had learned. But at the time, I suppose, Geraldine, if I'm honest, interior design wasn't as affordable, or people didn't see it as a must-have thing for their homes at the time. So it wasn't paying the bills. So I stayed at my full-time job and continued that. And then maybe at weekends and maybe the evenings, I do the odd job for friends and family and stuff like that. So then I worked away at that for a good few years. And then I was a mum and I stayed at home with my kids for a couple of years. And then I went back to college and I done a few more courses in interior design, retail design. And then I decided, okay, Maura, now's your chance. We had also done a few extensions in my own house here. So I kind of went, hang on now, look, it had its challenges, but I won't lie, I enjoyed every bit of it. And I said, hang on now, if I'm here doing this in my house, there's no reason why I can't do it for other people in their houses.
Of course, yeah.
And I suppose I saw the changes as well after 10, 15 years here. We had a dormer bungalow and then we had transformed it from a 27-year-old bungalow now to then a modern contemporary space. So I suppose as we were doing it, I kind of saw the improvements and how much it enhanced our lives to have the extra space and light and stuff coming in. So I was like, yes, that's it. That's what I want to do. So done the retail display design, to start your own business. And then I said, okay, I need to start it now. So then I joined up with Leo and just started and got mentors and help and how to put myself out there and stuff like that. So then Maura Mackey Design was born, I suppose, in November 19. And from there, I suppose, people got to know about me officially under my Maura Mackey Design umbrella, I suppose. So from there, and it's word of mouth and everything like that, Geraldine. People get to know you and trust you, I suppose, as the months went on. But obviously COVID hit then in March. So that was a bit of a hard thing, a challenge, I suppose, for me. So I remember thinking to myself, oh God, what am I going to do now? This is my business. I won't lie, 1 or 2 days, I didn't want to get out from underneath the duvet. But then I remember my coach, Anne Healy in Cormac Sherry, and I remember she rang me and said, okay, Maura, what are you doing now? So I was like, I feel like crying at it. She goes, no crying. No, come on. We're going to meet now every week and I'm going to see where you're going to be and we're going to get this. And I was like, okay. And you know what? It made me realize then, okay, all is not lost. Come on, there's got to be another way to work it. So then I was kind of, on obviously Zoom was a big thing at the time and you get to meet more people. And then I started doing virtual consultations for people. Worked out basically that we need to do virtual consultations rather than me going to someone's house. I started sending them out questionnaires. They started sending me videos. So then once I saw the space, Geraldine, I automatically could visualize myself in the space. So there it was a bit of a twist, but you know what? I went from it. So now I suppose I can do in-person and virtual one, which is great. So I suppose, you know what? Now you learn something. I always say every day is a school day. And for me, that was a big challenge in my business, But that's how I got into design, and the fact that I suppose I survived COVID, and I suppose I feel I've learned so much and I've achieved so much during COVID that I'm here to stay. So design is definitely a passion for me. I just absolutely love it.
Great.
And I feel, you know what, I'm finally doing what I've always wanted to do in my life,
It makes life so much easier, doesn't it, when you're doing something you enjoy?
Yeah, I just love it. I love going in to see new spaces and how I can help people, and it just, I just actually love what I do every day.
Great. And can you explain to our listeners some of the services that you offer, so Maura?
there's probably a lot of strings to my bow, so to speak. As I said, I offer in-person and virtual consultations. So I suppose the different ones that I offer is I will offer one-room consultation packages, I suppose. This is designed for clients who want to improve an existing room in their home. Say, for example, paint, choice, flooring, fabrics and accessories. Then for this one, there will be no bespoke design file with this package, because this will be just literally, once off, like basically going in to see what they need. So the advice and notes will be given during the consultation. If they need tradespeople, I can give them some numbers for this as well. So the big one that people love is the renovations and redesign package, right? So this consists of a 2-hour Zoom call, in-person home visit with the client to discuss how to create and transform the area in their home and make it a more functional and well-designed space. I talk with the client to see, what their needs are, what they're hoping to have at the end of our consult and my time with them. Obviously discuss their budget. Then obviously I would give them a bespoke file, design file there, Geraldine. So basically what that is, I'd be giving them a mood board and a list of things that they need to change to create that visual. It would be a visual design concept, I suppose, so they could actually visually see it. So it would give, I suppose, just say for a living room now, what would be in that file would be like color options. There would be a row, couch ideas, accessories, flooring recommendations, storage and things like that. And I suppose I always say to people, I can be as much or as little help as they need. So I can stop there, or I can go on and I can design the whole room for them and do everything, project manage it, I suppose, so to speak. The other thing is that, say, for example, and this would happen a lot, is that people would go in, they would design something themselves, and they're be it a new build or a renovation, and then they might go in buying curtains and stuff, and they're trying to put it together, but it doesn't work. So basically that's where I would come into them and I would see what they have and see, basically how we can jig it around and make it look more comfy and cozy. So once again, literally it's there and then, it's consultation that's there and then, unless they want me to give them more help. And, normally people for this, they kind of go, we've gone so far, Maura, we just need you to tell us what will go here. Say, for example, look, the couch doesn't go in that corner, you need to move it over here. Like the curtains that you bought don't really go, maybe you could use in a different room, we buy new ones, and, I go through all that with them and stuff like that. So the other thing that I do is I work new builds. I suppose I can come in at the design stage to help you see how best to design the house and how best to use your budget. Or I can come in after the build, say when the builder's gone out and you need help from there, or when it's that builder's finish, or if you're living in the space as well and you need a certain area in your house done. Like some people, or a lot of people nowadays, will come in, Geraldine, and they would maybe have their kitchen done, but they just don't need to, how to bring the open plan space into it then and something like that. I'll always encourage my clients to bring as much light, air, nature and natural elements into design. That's my big thing. But once again, I can be as much or as little help as you need.
Yeah. The
other thing I do is home staging. I suppose this is kind of an add-on to what I do, my interior design skills. Yeah. So I suppose home staging is for people that don't know what home staging is I stage your home or property to suit the potential buyer, to ensure that you get the best sale price for your property. So what I offer there is I can just come into your house maybe for an hour and a half and do a staging report and just go through the whole, from the front door to the back door, and tell you exactly what you need to change to make it look better for you. And we could stop there. Or you could say to me, Maura, will you please do the whole lot for me? I have no interest in doing any of that. And I can do that too. And if you have a property that's empty, Geraldine, then I'm someone who can come in and I can actually get rented furniture for you and fill your property with rented furniture. I suppose people can visualize themselves in a property much better when it's furnished rather than not.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Of course. Yeah, it's easier for them to imagine
it is
themselves.
And they can see the potential, whereas sometimes the empty properties can be very cold and clinical. And I suppose the other big thing they always say to people, by staging a property, you can earn 6 to 11% more on the asking price, which I think is win-win. But look, you know what? Now I suppose when you have the money in your hand, you kind of realize, oh my God, that girl, what she done definitely made us earn that extra bit of money. Now, the other thing that I do as well is commercial projects. My designs are conceived with your end purpose in mind. I suppose in commercial space, I try to bring the biophilic design concept in where possible. And for anyone that would know what biophilic design is, that is bringing nature and natural elements into space, which would be air, light, plants, wood, water. And the benefits of biophilic design in these kind of spaces is that it benefits the employer and the employee. Basically, it's good for your well-being, but also for me, even I see here when I've taken things around me, I'm definitely way more creative and stuff like that. And it's just a better space to work in. For commercial projects, I suppose it's kind of people could have a new project or they might have somewhere that they need to be retrofitted or given a facelift. So my designs look great and they actually work. I work with the client to say, okay, where do you need my help? How can I help you? So it's all about that communication between the client and myself, whether it's commercial project or new build or renovation. Like, it's grand for me to come in as a designer to say, oh, I think this would work there and that would work there, but I want it to work for you as the client. And I want you to love it when I walk out the door to say, I wouldn't put that colour on the wall. Now, if she didn't tell me, no, I want you to love it, and we pick it together and I work with you, not just my ideas. So we'll work on, I suppose, anything from the front door to back door. Some people say, work away with it more, and they're happy for me to do it, Jardine. It's less stress. I suppose the different kind of commercial spaces that I've worked on would be reception areas, bathrooms, boardrooms. And I suppose there's just helping people lighting, flooring, colour decisions, reception furniture, finishing touches and stuff like that. And this, trying to improve the aesthetics and the light in the space. So I also do colour consultation. So a lot of people actually lately got on to me say, they might have an old kitchen, a wooden kitchen that might be a dark colour, Jardine. So they might say to me, like, the kitchen is too good to throw it out. So would you come and do colour consultation? Give me a new colour for my units. I want to change my splashback, my worktop. I want to put new colours on my walls, new floor and stuff like that. So that would be your ideal colour consultation. Or you might have someone that might say, I just can't pick out a colour for my walls. Will you come out and help me? They might have everything else there. They might even have a set of curtains on the walls that they love. And they were like, okay, you need to pick a colour that will match that. And that's fine too. Or there might be somebody that might ring me and say, Maura, look, I'm actually changing the colour of the outside of my house. You never come down and give me a few ideas. And I will. So it could be anything, outside, inside, it could be anywhere at all. You know what I mean? And another thing that I have as well is on Facebook, I actually have a Facebook group. It's called Style Your Home with Confidence. I suppose I set it up last Christmas because I love decorating my house for Christmas. So as I was going on probably the middle of November and work my way through right up to, November or December, letting people know what they could do. I showed them videos of what I'd done in my house, where they could buy the stuff. And then what I do is every couple of months, I also write an article for the West Cork people. So I put my articles in there. If I come across anything that I think would be useful for my people in the group, I'll put it in there, and little, different guides and stuff like that. I put nuggets of information there for people. It could be like, colours that are useful, where you can buy nice furniture, where you can get nice curtains, things like that. So it's Style Your Home with Confidence on Facebook. The last thing that I suppose I'm really passionate about now, and I suppose has really, really kind of, I just love it. It's all about the biophilic design console. So, you could have someone, it might be something as little as, I suppose I'm kind of working at that now, my new website at the moment, to see what are the needs of people, where do they need my help, being in all those different areas. For every one that I do, I try and bring in a bit of that everywhere. I feel, you know what now? If it enhances somebody's mood, then why not?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's the kind of area that you're kind of passionate about, and that you like to bring in a little bit in everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Some people only want small, but some people might say, oh yes, you know what now? And it could be the difference of, like, Jardine, you could have a dark space, and it could be the difference of taking off the dark curtains off the window and giving a light pair, or even nice, you know what now? And I suppose just to let people know that all that is available there, and the difference you can make by bringing those elements of biophilic design into a space. You know
Very
what I mean?
good. Yeah. And did you always want to work for yourself?
Yes, I want. Yeah, yes, I did. I can always say that someday I'd like to be my own boss. Someday I'd like to be an interior, I have my own business. Along the way, I worked for multinationals, as I worked at Apple and I worked in Alcon as a buyer. So I suppose in a way that was a good thing for me, because it made me realize the benefits of project management and buying and stuff like that. So it did give me a great foundation for stuff like that. Bills had to be paid, so that's why I had to stay at that job for a while. People now realize the value of a good interior designer when you have a property or a space, and the benefits. So I'm at it at a good time. I'm delighted I'm working for myself. I'm my own boss, which is great. But I have a family as well, Jardine, and by working for myself, my hours can work around them. And you know what I mean? And I suppose every day for me is different. And I love that idea. I could be at home one day doing mood boards. I could be doing out in people's houses tomorrow. I could be down in West Cork. You know what I mean? It can be, it varies. And I love that. And I suppose the thing I love most about, I love meeting people, because I'm a people person.
Definitely a people person. Very good.
Yeah.
So the question I was going to ask are there any particular elements of design that you're particularly passionate about? But I presume that's biophilic design, is it?
Do you know what my two things, I suppose, I love turning, like modern contemporary design and biophilic design would be my big ones. I love turning new and tired buildings into modern contemporary designs. And it could be it could be a new building there now, and it might have no bit of, I suppose, warmth about it. And I love creating that for people. But I also, you could also go into someone's house and you could say, and I'm using this as an example now, you could have a kitchen come living room, and it could be the darkest space now, right? But when I walk in that door, I'm like, if we knock that wall there now, we could have the light that's coming in. We could move that over there. Straight away, the voices are coming in my head.
Yeah.
Jardine saying what I can do for that. Do you know what now? People before, like if a window was in the wrong place or there was no light coming, they put up with it. And they were like, oh, I'd love to do that. You don't have to do that anymore. And people are open to change now. And I suppose for someone like me coming into someone's house like that, I love transforming those kind of places,
spaces,
properties for people that they might be dark. They're like, oh, well, it was always like that. And sure, look, it's very dark. Yes, you can knock and people, I suppose I kind of say, it's okay, we can knock the wall, we can put up the RSJ, we get the builder in, we work it out. And once they know, then if you talk them through it, they can actually say, well, you know what, you're right. I always love that. Or they might say, well, my house is in the back, that they can't see nothing and they have a lovely garden, then why don't you move, have your den on the other side and bring your kitchen so you're looking out into the garden. And they're like, oh my God, would love that. Small things like that,
exactly.
I suppose. And that's what I love.
It must be very satisfying.
Oh my God, Jardine, I love going to people's homes, seeing what they have. And then if they take me on to do the project, walking away saying, okay, do you know what now? I'm so delighted with them. Because of a few changes and, making them realize how best to spend their money, they then realize the benefits of me. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
and how I've enhanced their lives. Well, I hope I have anyway.
And are there any core principles of design that are timeless in your opinion?
Well, I suppose I always take people's homes and families into account because I think that, I like to get to know my clients when I design a space for them. And I like to think that be long lasting, Jardine, because there's no point in me putting something into their house that looks great now, but they'll be allergic to it next year. So from a sustainability point of view as well, people are definitely more conscious now as well of buying good first time rather than buying something because it's on trend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The other thing as well is a design needs to be functional and non-obtrusive. It needs to work for a family. There's no point in something looking fab. It's like in a magazine, but like, God forbid, they can't use it. I like being honest with people. It needs to work for the client.
Exactly.
For example, if someone said, oh, Maura, I love that black shiny. I love high glass, presses, or something that's, that basically if you have young kids and they're going to put their paws and they're going to see it all the time. That's not going to be function for you. Yes, if you're a young professional, or yes, then I'd say, instead of the high glass, make it matte. So then you get away with it, that you don't have to be cleaning it all the time. I always use products that work for people. And I suppose I prefer to let people have signature pieces, bespoke pieces, sometimes that will last a test of time rather than just buying things for the sake of it. You know, that kind of way. So exactly. They would be my key things.
You were talking there about biophilic design. So how would you add some biophilic design elements to an open plan space or a commercial building or home office? How would you introduce it?
Biophilic design, I suppose, first of all, is a concept used within the building industry, just to give you a small little bit of background, to increase occupant connectivity to the natural environment. And that's basically through the use, as I said earlier, of direct nature, indirect nature, space and place conditions. Or in layman's terms, Jardine, biophilic design is all about bringing the outside in, right? Different ways that I have and can bring those elements into your house is obviously nature, which you can bring in your plants, which easy ways that you can bring some indoor plants, be like your spider plants, your snake plants, or peace lily, people love them as well. A big thing that's coming back now is cork walls, wooden walls, uses of metal, be it in the front of furniture. They're upcycling furniture, they're putting it in maybe the front of an old cabinet or something like that, bringing lots of air into space, like open up the windows, but also, if there's not enough coming in, what ways can we bring it in? Light. Does it mean knocking a wall and putting a big long, say if it's a new build, obviously you're bringing a full wall of bifold or something like that coming through. Or maybe it's the fact that, what you've already on your window, something like that needs to be taken down and put up something that's going to bring more light in. Open up a space, like I said there a while ago. You know what now, if you've a wall that's blocking the light that's coming in, south-facing view, then maybe that wall needs to be knocked, right, so that the light will come right through the room. And they would be my key areas really, that like it doesn't mean it's going to cost an arm and a leg, but I suppose if you're doing a new build, just think about those things before you start. If you're in a house, think of how can we can bring it in now without costing an arm and leg. There's small changes you can make, but there's also big changes you can make. So I suppose you can bring areas of it in many ways. You know what I mean, Geraldine?
Yeah. And what type of projects so interest you most?
I suppose the ones I love the most is I love transforming spaces. You know, the way, like I said to you there a while ago, bringing new life into it, whether it's an old property or a new property. When I walk into space, automatically the head is going, what can I do here? What can I do there? You know, from the minute I walk in the door, and obviously after reading the discovery call questionnaire and stuff like that, I know what people want and what they need. And I know how I can transform a space. But at the same time, this is the client's home. I need to know our property, you know, I need to work for them. Because I love the natural light. What are the good points of the space, say, for example, and talk to the client, what you like about the space, what you don't like. And I like listening to them. Like if they have little things that have annoyed them for a year, Darlene, I want to know about them. Tell me now, and how can I actually fix them for them? So now they're actually, oh my God, I love that now. You know what I mean? What needs to stay and what needs to go. But those kind of is transforming spaces for people to enhance their lives so that they love their homes. And that would be my thing. There's certain areas of different projects I wouldn't do more than others, but I just love seeing people's lives change and are enhanced because of the projects that I do. You know, that's my big, you know, I suppose that's my big love, I suppose, you know.
So how would you describe your style?
Modern contemporary would be my main style. And I love bringing the elements of biophilic in design into it. They would be my style. That doesn't mean that I can't work for your traditional or your more rustic style. I worked everything, but it's just, I think a lot of people now love the bright airy spaces. Like I know there's certain areas in your house that, you know, some people like to have them kind of cozy, and you can still have cozy, but I suppose trying to let people know what's available. And you know what? My style as well is letting people know that you don't always have to knock walls to change rooms and stuff like that. I'm not all about that either. You know, work with what you have. You know, how basically colours and textures and fabrics can actually enhance the room so much. And Geraldine, that would be one of my big things, you know.
And so can you describe the process you undertake with clients to come up with the design?
For example, if you rang me now tomorrow and you said, Maura, okay, I've got a living room at home that I need help with. So I say what I normally do, and I suppose I get you to tell me what you like and don't like over the phone about the room. So then I'd say to you, right, I'm going to send you out a thing I call a discovery call questionnaire. So basically there's a load of questions in this form, but it also gives people a chance to kind of sit down and actually genuinely think about what they like, they don't like in a space, the look that they're trying to achieve. And it gives them to actually stop and think without maybe so I suppose going head in first. Then I say to people that send me back the questionnaire, then I ask them, send me on a few photographs or even do a video of the space, go around, and you have people say, and no more, I'm here now in the living room and I don't like that now. And you know, I love that because I feel as if I'm nearly in the room with the people. And it gives me a great idea then of the space and what it looks like and stuff like that, but plus what the person thinks of it. And I always say to people then, if there's like Pinterest and online now, people are looking all the time. And I say, look, if there's anything you've seen anywhere, send them on to me and I'll see if that'll work for the space. And obviously what the client wants is what the client gets. But if there's something that I feel won't work in a design, that I'd say it to them, obviously, because obviously it'll look better. But that doesn't mean if I don't like it that the client doesn't get to put in their space, because it's all about the client. Do you know what I mean?
So like I'm always kind of interested in how designers deal with situations where they may have a different idea of what would work best for their client. So how do you overcome differences in taste? Or is it always just what the client wants, the client gets?
Well, do you know what? I suppose first I'm a designer, but the client is the property owner. I suppose my job really is to show the client the benefits of my design ideas, but they have to like them too. If I'm really, really passionate about an idea and I think that the client isn't, what I normally do is I bring them to a showroom where just to give them an idea, because I suppose for me, it's all about visualizing a space. I can see when I go in, but not every client can see that or, you know, can honestly see what I'm trying to say to them. So if I feel that they don't see what I'm talking about, then maybe sometimes I say I bring them to a showroom, or I might bring them to maybe somebody else's house I've done something similar to and say, look, I've done this couple's house. It's very similar to yours. Do you want to come and have a nose of it? And they might say, oh my God, I'd love that. So then I bring them into the space and I say, okay, this is a thing that you don't want to spend the money on, or maybe it's something that you don't like, but listen, this couple mightn't have liked it either, but they did in the end when they saw the benefit. And then, you know what, they see, they're like, oh my God, yes, Maura, I get it. No, there's situations as well, Geraldine, that somebody might, no, I don't want it. I don't want it. And if they don't, that's fine. Then we'll work around
Okay.
it and we'll come up with an alternative. Do you know, I suppose I just want them to be happy when I walk out the door. That's my key thing.
So the kind of questions that you need to know, like what would be the one piece of information that's of utmost value? Like I suppose you gather a lot of information through this questionnaire or whatever. So what one piece of information is the most important for you to get?
For me, I suppose, who's using the space? Who's going to use, I suppose, living in the space? The look that they're trying to achieve. The big thing is budget as well. That's a big thing, because people might say, oh, we've only $5,000 now to do this. But like the look they're trying to achieve might actually be costing 10, 15. You know what I mean? But you have to be realistic as well. And I say, okay. And I always say to people as well, I can work to every budget. And of course, budget is key. But you can't expect, I suppose, big bespoke items that are not going to cost money. And I suppose tell people, but everyone is entitled to have a fabulous home regardless of their budget. Look, everything is possible. Can work to any budget, but I suppose you have to be realistic as well, Jardine. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. So what would be your biggest influences?
When it comes to designing properties and stuff for people, I suppose my biggest influences would be when I go into someone's house and I see what they already have, and I kind of have an idea of the look they want to achieve. But my biggest influences, I suppose, I love researching. I love looking at new things coming down the line from here. Love going to trade shows. I love to kind of see what I can bring to people. Not that all new things need to be brought into design, but my biggest influence is what has worked for me in past projects that have worked for people and that they know that they love it. Do you know what I mean, Geraldine?
Yeah.
You know?
What would be your dream project?
My dream project would be designing a modern contemporary house property overlooking the sea. So I just love the sea. That's my peace place. At the start with an architect, and that I'm there at the very, very start where I can use my modern contemporary influences as a designer, and where I can bring in the biophilic again, use the outside view as the main feature of the property and work around that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Buy a property down there in Kinsale or something, you know?
No problem. God, yeah. Down West Cork, Low Barley Cove, Crookhaven, and all those, you know. West Cork, Clonakilty, love it. Yeah.
In structural design, we often comment that constraints breed creativity. Would you agree based on your own experience?
Oh God, I would, yeah. Because some of my best designs come from constraints. And what I mean there is that, like, if you have your normal run-of-the-mill room, and that's perfect, but sometimes it's nice to be tested. When you're tested, you think outside the box.
Yes, yeah.
Makes you think, oh, okay, I can't use that there now, so what will I use there? So then it makes you go back and research, and you know what, now makes you double think, you know, I suppose if like your normal standard kitchen is there, if you have a narrow kitchen, then you have to think, okay, this person wants to have this here, then how can I get that for them? You know what I mean? It might be something that you'd have to get something really bespoke made for them, or, you know, like sometimes they might have a lovely kitchen, but the size of the table and chairs that, you know, you could buy bog standard in a normal furniture shop won't work there. So might mean that I need to get onto someone to actually make a bespoke table and chair, so that's going to fit in that space. That's not going to invade their beautiful kitchen that they've spent thousands on. Do you know what I mean? They would be my big things, really, I suppose, that I kind of find the test we kind of like when you don't have a small space, but the clients might want to have big ideas for the place or storage. That's a big thing for people. They might think, oh, I can't put that there. Yes, you can. You know, you can dig into the wall, if, you know, and use the space that's in there, you know, crawl space or something like that for people's, would say, dormer bungalows now, rather than having, because the wall space would be pretty narrow there, or would be as much as you'd have, say, a normal two-story house. So then there's no reason why you can't go into the crawl space and put your wardrobe in there and, you know, things like that. Yes, definitely. And I definitely think as a designer, for all these projects that are not run of the mill, by God, you learn so much from them and bring them on, because you know, what won't kill you will make you stronger, definitely. And, you know, it's okay to not know what you need. And there's been days that I've been on projects that I come home and I say, okay, what do I need to do there now? And I might be here and I might spend my night checking stuff up on the internet and, you know, think what's out there now for that. Because obviously, look, as I said to you, every day is a school day. You learn something new, you know?
So I suppose, like, from a client's point of view, like, that must be of huge benefit, you know, is you being able to find a solution to a problem that they might not be able to find, you know?
Exactly. And Jardine, I suppose I have the knowledge. I might have come across somebody before, or I might have worked on a project maybe last year that might be the exact same thing. And I suppose I know where you can go, shops that have, or, you know, what I could get that would be standard, or that would work there or wouldn't be a standard. You know, that kind of way. So all those things are a good thing, you know.
So what are your biggest challenges?
I hate tech. I hate tech. I would go into a room and I would talk to not 500 people, no, but even 100 people and talk about interior design for the whole day long. But then you've heard, like I would find for me and my business, tech was the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, the kids found it very amusing, the fact that, you know, oh, mom, do you not know to do that? No, I don't. Like there's been times I might think I'm posting something that doesn't even work. Like that would be the big thing.
Yeah.
I suppose the other thing is putting my face on camera. I'm over it now, but at the start, that was a big thing, you know, and do my videos, learning new skills.
Yeah.
I do think, I suppose I've learned now that, you know what, Maura, if you don't know, then ask somebody.
Exactly.
You know, I don't like tech, I won't lie, but rather than me getting frustrated and spending hours on something, then I put up my hand and I'll say, look, guys, who can help me here? I'm in different various groups and, you know, networks, and you can say, okay, guys, I need help. We'll want to do any. And then somebody might say, well, Maura, you know what now? If I help you with tech, I have a room there, I need a new colour.
Yeah.
And lovely.
That's
and
it.
We can swap and collaborate each other out, you know what I mean, which is great.
Is there any piece of tech that you couldn't live without, or software?
Well, oh God, Jardine, I have to say now, my laptop obviously is my world now, and I suppose my phone, key to my business as well, because I could be somewhere and if I'm out and about and take it in a shop, or if I see something that I think will work well in someone's house, I'm like, oh my God, let's take a picture, send it on. And I suppose I'll use my phone for my posts on Instagram and stuff like that. But a working day tool that I would use a lot would be Canva.
Oh yeah.
For mood boards and stuff like that. You know, those kind of things, then they would be key for me to be able to show people mood boards and visual aids, you know, stuff like that.
What are your plans going forward now, Maura?
My plans going
conquer the world.
Oh, my plans going forward would be keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Learn new stuff, take on projects, and educate myself more on biophilic design, because I feel like I'm hungry for that now. Even more every month I feel like, oh my God, just learn more of it, and just keep what I'm doing, learning more stuff, doing my courses and putting myself out there. Doing more, I probably would be nervous to take on new things. Now I'm like, my new way of life is if somebody asked me to do something, even like you doing this morning, Doing more, I would have said, oh God, well, you know, what will I sound like, you know, whatever. But my new thing now is say yes, and I can work out after, you know, what I'm going to do. Things that I'd love to do, I'd love to be someone that is seen as a go-to interior designer in Cork. I'd love to be seen someone that's maybe on, like I was saying to you earlier, I'd love to be seen that someone on the TV or even in the afternoon show or something like that thing. I'd love to, you know, that interiors is there for everyone. Interior design is there for everyone, and let people see that you can use it as much or little as you want. And let people see it's affordable now, and what you know, if you want a big spend on your couch, you don't have to big spend then on a set of curtains. You know, let people know it's there. Yeah, that's my plan.
And what piece of advice would you give to other people thinking of setting up in business? What mistakes or good choices did you make that you think would be of benefit to others?
I suppose at the very start, I was very hard on myself. And don't be hard on yourself. Put your hand up, ask for help. There are lots of people out there that are in the same position as you. Kind of get people in your own little network, say Jardine, or even get, you know, the people are starting off in business as well. You meet them through your local Leo. I found the local enterprise board fabulous. And then you meet people who are in courses that are on the same journey as you, not in the same, obviously, business, but, you know, then maybe even meet for a cup of coffee and bounce things off each other. For me, get yourself a mentor or a coach. Key, I think, to kind of, you know, to get rid of all that self-doubt. And it keeps, a phrase I keep saying to myself is, eat the frog, Mar, eat the frog. And what I mean by that is feel the fear and do it anyway. Yes, I won't lie. There's been days here that I've gone on things and I'm doing the EFT tapping on my hand before I go, or I might be panicking, and I'm, you know, if it's something new, or, you know, if I'm doing a webinar with someone and, you know, then I'm saying, it's okay. People say to me, you know, it's okay to be fearful. You know, that's what drives you on as far as you do the next thing. So that's my motto, I suppose. Say yes and work out later, you know, how you're going to do it.
So eat the frog.
Eat the frog. Eat the frog. Yeah, that's one of my favourite things.
That's a great way to end the podcast. So thanks very much, Maura, for coming on and joining us here on the Cork Creative Podcast.
Thank you very much for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Great. If you want to learn more about Maura and her work, you can find links to her website and social media on corkcreative.ie.